My friends, this is a case that we really need to pay attention to. Also happening in Judge Beverly Cannone's court, but this time it's a bench trial. And believe me, there's so many twists and turns in this trial, and oh my gosh, it's something that's not really widely reported on. Court TV was in the courtroom yesterday. However, in today's testimony, they weren't there. They went on to something else. A lot of people don't even know what's happening, and I think we are in the know because, my oh my, this one certainly shows us that we are. Welcome, welcome. I'm Lady Zelda. I'm with Seeing Crime, and here today we have this case, and it is the case of Massachusetts versus Penelope McGee, or Penny McGee. This is a crazy case. It's considered to be a socialite manslaughter. If you know, you know. If you get it, because I can't really say that word, so we're going to just say manslaughter. How's that? Not making light of it, but you know, we got to do what we got to do. If you're here for the first time, please do me a favor and subscribe and like this video, because we need to push this out, because we need people to start paying attention to what's going on in these courts, and especially in Massachusetts. And now, Judge Beverly Cannone is in a bench trial. That means that the defendant, Miss McGee, Penny McGee, has decided the day that they were going to start selecting the jury, she decided she wanted a bench trial. My question is it because she saw the mess that Karen Reed went through with this judge? So far, this has been really torturous, but I'm going to give you some elements of this case. Now, if you really want to know more, our friend Attorney Melanie Little is covering this case, and you may want to check her channel out. I'll leave a link in the description where you can catch up, and believe me, your eyes are going to be opened. This is a case in which Penny McGee and her husband, Andrew Savitz, and by the way, he was a big part of the presidential campaign for Michael Dukakis. Okay, so it's been a little while. He was 66 years old. This happened January 28th, and it was of the year 2020. So they had been divorced. They had kids together. The daughter, Susie, and Penny have been a little estranged. There's some hard cheese there. We haven't gotten into what's caused this, but there's some toughness there. And Penny McGee went from this socialite status down to where, public defender type thing, but her attorney is wonderful. This attorney, and I'm going to give you the name and put it up here because it escapes me right now because my mind is just flooded, okay? But this attorney is excellent. He is really covering all the bases, and some things that Attorney Melanie Little pointed out today. He pointed out it was we were on the edge of our seats and in disbelief, and it was just a Zoom call that we were listening to today, and it was just wild. Now, Court TV was broadcasting a little bit here and there of it later on, but we listened to it in real time. So the agreement was that Penny was living in the house with Andrew, but the kids were not supposed to know, and especially Susie. So she was kind of there on a covert thing. Now, backing up, I got to tell you that Andrew had every probably problem heart-wise, and diabetes, and strokes, and car accidents, and he was just a walking medical mess. He had problem after problem, and heart problems and everything else. So she was living in another house that Andrew's brothers owned. Well, they all of a sudden decided they didn't want her there, and they sent her an email evicting her. Now, she had kids with her, and that was the beginning of this problem. So she went over to discuss this with Andrew at his house, and Susie, the daughter, said she was in another part of the house. She heard the argument between her parents. What she didn't say is that what she saw until she got in the court. She didn't even tell the police officers. What didn't she say? Well, she told in court that she saw her mother slap her father and fight him. But Penny says that he grabbed her hair. He pushed her up against the stove. There was some physical alterations going on there, and altercations, pardon me. And when Susie came downstairs, she called 911. And while she was on the phone with 911, Andrew drops to the floor with a stroke or with a heart problem. Let me say that. Unclear for me, but I know that in the transcripts it's clear. So it's a heart problem he dropped to the floor on. Right away, Penny's giving him CPR. The daughter's on the call 911, and you can hear all this going on in the background. The police show up, and yes, there's a familiar name in there. Someone who was also in a group text with Proctor and someone else in the Karen Reed case. See, they're all, it's all the same players, just a different day, sort of, kinda. But remember, this happened January 28th. So the police show up, the ambulance shows up, they take him off, and the next day, January 29th, of all things, 2020, they pronounce him dead. 1 year later, well, it wasn't 1 year later, but then they have the autopsy, and a few months later, the ME, she put it down as, unknown causes or whatever that was, but then she changed it to homicide. The police go in, they arrest Penny, and now she's facing 20 years in jail because a man that she was having an argument with dropped over from one of these medical ailments that he had. Now, forgive me if some of these elements of the case are a little missing or a little vague, because I'm here, I want to see what's going on with Penny, because, again, she is facing 20 years in prison for this. Whew. And, of course, Beverly Cannone is on the bench, and so far she's been behaving a little bit. But I'm going to tell you, the real hard nut to crack in this was the ME. She was on the stand today, and oh my heck. You just want to She was snarky, and she was determined to mark this a homicide. My question is, was she approached by one of these bad actors, just like the ME was approached in the Karen Reed case? Was she bullied? That's my question. And what's going to happen with Penny? She looks like a nice person. I mean, you know how that is, though, right? But this is all believable. And the ME gets on the stand today and says, oh, she didn't look. She only went by what the police report said, but she didn't know a lot of other elements. So she testified at a grand jury to a lot of things that, well, she just didn't know. She didn't say what she didn't know because she didn't know, she said. Does that make sense? So the daughter testified already. But funny enough, it was only on the stand that she said that she saw her mother slap her father and fight her father, and then he collapsed. Now, she didn't put that in the police report. This case is messed up. Today, what's the bothering part of this, and pardon me for the long intro, but I wanted to fill you in. The real bothersome part about this is the law in Massachusetts, as far as the MEs are concerned. Loosely, it says, if you scare someone and they have a heart attack, you're responsible. Oh boy, there goes Halloween. Now, I know for a fact that when you go out to some of these public haunted places, when you want to do a paranormal gig, you have to sign a waiver that says, look, we're held harmless. If something happens and you drop over, it's on you. It's not on me. And you're not going to hold us, hold us responsible. But I'm going to tell you, after this can be a mess because, what does this do? So if you're having an argument with someone and somebody else drops over, you're responsible for manslaughter, right? Sorry about that, but I have to say it. I want to watch the algorithm. Today we're going to look at Penny McGee, and we're going to find out exactly what's going on. Now, the defense has some experts, medical experts, and I'm here for it. I want to hear what they have to say because this snarky little girl, 9 years in the medical examiner profession, I don't know. We'll see. And I say little girl, this is a woman, pardon me, but hey, I'm to the age now that everybody is younger than me. That's how I feel. House of Zelda cards, we're going to lay a foundation with our friend the Kipper. We have the Vintage Tarot, and we have the Fire Element Cartomancy. Let's see what's going to happen with Miss Penny McGee and how Judge Cannone is feeling about things right now. I'm going to lay out, there's the cloth. Let me know if you see anything in the cloth. Okay. So here, my darlings, this energy is heavy. Heavy. And evidently, it seems, in my opinion, that Andrew Savitz was a little bit of a hothead. So before I get started, I just want to share with you, I am not a lawyer. I'm not law enforcement. I'm not a medical professional. I'm a tarot psychic. I'm a psychic profiler, and I'm a psychic medium. This is disturbing. And we're in the same court in Massachusetts. And what are they doing in Massachusetts with this stuff? Charging people a year later. They charged Penny a year later with this homicide. The homicide. Stolen. Anger. Ha. Okay, so Andrew is here. And what did I just say about Andrew, in my opinion? Seems like a hothead. Stolen, they were fighting over this eviction. Now, I don't think anything was stolen, but I'm going to say I think that she was being treated unfairly by his brothers trying to evict her. But her life is about to be stolen from her, too. It's a sad situation for both of them. We're going to see now what's going on. We're going to let this to the side. So spirits, guides, and angels, give us some guidance on this. I want to see Beverly Cannone. I want to see what's happening. Give us some insight on these MEs, the police. You know the gig, my darlings. Thank you so much. And here we are, my friends. Yes, and I call my guides and my angels my darlings too. Look at this courthouse. Well, we're certainly there. That doesn't look like Auntie Bev, but hey, we don't know. In another life, maybe. Here we are. The community, and I'm going to tell you the community, it is a socialite community that she is from, and it is hush, hush. I think, and I've dealt with these before where you just can't find this type of thing. Sudden wealth. Well, this Andrew Savitz was pretty wealthy. I think he was comfortable. Family room. Wow, who are we reading for? But this is family room, and this is the only way that it can designate that it happened in the house. Wow, what are we saying here? That sounds familiar, doesn't it? So it happened in the house. There's some issues here with him. We're going to see. Main female, yes, that is Miss Penny, and she's right here by the courthouse and the community. Her name is Penelope, but she goes by Penny. This has been a long road to hoe for this lady. Not only is her daughter testifying, can you imagine? Her daughter is testifying, wants to see her go away for 20 years. She was only 18 when this happened. So there's a family dynamic there as well, my friends. Putting this to the side. And I hate these cases where there's kids, because she was a kid when this happened. Just because you're 18 doesn't mean, but she'd been going through a lot of this family dynamic, and for Penny to have to be sneaking in the house for a place to stay, yeah, I'm really sorry. The Knight of Cups, okay. The Strength card, definitely. That is a Leo. I don't know what sign Penny is. I didn't look. And in this case, it's okay that we don't know. The Queen of Wands. So we have the Knight of Cups, the Strength card, which is also the sign of Leo. We have the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Wands. The Ace of Wands, definitely a fiery case. And the Knight of Wands. We have a big representation here in the Wand suit, which is definitely Massachusetts took action on this. Definitely there is an issue. This Queen of Wands is the ME. She's the one who, well, lit the fire under everything. She's going by her instinct, because today during this cross-examine, in fact, I wrote in the chat, is this woman trying to take my psychic job? Because it seems like she's just thinking that she can predict the future or figure out what the past was. She's going by her gut instinct, which some of the medical examiner, I guess, protocol, I'm going to say it that way, was read, and Miss Melanie Little read that on, and I mean, it is not a staunch, when this happens, it is not something that you must, right? I think it's to someone's discretion, but there's so many other elements. The fact that this man was a medical nightmare, she said very clearly that if it weren't for this argument, if it weren't for this woman, he would still be alive. How can she determine that? Is she now playing God? I think she's got a little bit of an ego there, but let's go back through here, and I know she does. This Knight of Cups, someone who's going to bring peace. Watch now. I think this is the new medical examiner that's going to be coming. I don't know if he's a medical, but it's an expert. Let's just say this, that the defense has. This Strength card, which is also Leo, this is an infinite amount of strength. And sometimes, in order to deal with these types of situations, you got to figure out another way to overcome the beast. Something I wanted to point out to you. You see, there is a curvature on the back of this woman. But then there is a curvature on the back of this lion. It's a puzzle piece. Something that you've got to put together, that can come together. This is an infinite amount of strength. Think about this. For the last 5 years, 4 years, 5 years, this woman has been toiling and laboring over what the heck is going to happen to her. Because she has been rendered to nothing. And this lawyer is really doing a great job. Sometimes when you get public defenders, and I'm not quite certain if he is one, but I think that he may have been court appointed. I'm not sure. Forgive me if I do not have that right. But I will tell you, many times when that happens, they'll just plea you out because they don't have the budget to work on a big case, especially like this. Attorneys, my goodness. You're talking maybe for a good one, $750 to I know an attorney in Washington, D.C. that gets $2,500 per hour. Of course, it's based on the area. This attorney is doing a fantastic job. Yes, money has been involved. Yes, the home was involved. This was a can of worms. And of course, this was the ME, or is the ME. But this Ace of Wands is a timing card. A benevolent hand coming out of the heavens to say, you're not done. There's some doors to open. Don't think that this is something that is going to fail yet. There's you've got more to go. And this Knight of Wands, remember, he is the action. All knights are action oriented. He's getting ready to leap into place. So I'm going to say this new medical expert, I mean, there's an announcement that he's coming. He's got information. He's got peace. And I think he's a little bit, he's going to bring some human emotion to this. This Emmy, this chick, she was just like a desert sand. Nothing there. Except hot. She's not hot in that way, but I mean, maybe even hot-headed. But she sure was snarky on the stand today. She brought the snark. Knight of Wands, leaping into action. So this is the new expert coming in. And he is going to open some doors, open some minds, and I think cause a little bit of, kind of make you stop and think, is this me being a little bit egregious? Well, let's look a little further. Let's look a little further. We have our friend the Piotnik deck. And again, thank you all for being here. Let's pay attention to these cases and where they're going and these troopers and people that are involved. Personally, in my opinion, I think she has been bullied. But we're gonna ask. We're gonna ask. Because these MEs all of a sudden changing their findings on the death certificate. It wasn't natural causes, but it could have been unknown, I think. And then she changed it to a homicide. Wow. Jealousy. Yeah, there's some jealousy there. And I think that the daughter, like I said, there's a dynamic. And oh yeah, Andrew Savitz is here. So this is one of the cases. It's his word against, and yes, there's the widow card. So we're describing Penny and this daughter, and I don't like family dynamics. This is an email or a text. That's an email or a text that I'm wondering if we're going to hear about. And believe me, they're giving this a lot of thought. Now, this email or text could be something from this ME, or it could be some communication, because it seems like there's a piece to this puzzle that is missing. Was there a love dynamic there? Of course, I believe that. And things go wrong. There's a spiritual guidance over this particular case, a connotation, and I think the right thing is going to happen. But let's look a little further. We have the Gypsy Witch, all about that as far as I'm concerned. Grandma's cards, they're getting some good use. That's the Nine of Hearts. That's the yes card. But it is also a card that talks about money and riches, because you see this ship, it's basically talking about your ship coming in. But it also basically says that you have to be careful. Let me get, I need another one of these Kipper. Boy, these Kippers have turned out to be our friends. And soon I'm going to have more of these Kippers to put into a shop for us. I'll let you know. I'll announce it. It's going to be very competitively priced. Oh boy, this is what she's facing. Is she going to go to prison? And you know what? Look at this. Thoughts. Oh yeah. She's facing prison. 20 years. A false person. In my opinion, and I hate to say this, this is the daughter wanting the mom to go to prison. Now, I want to go a little further. I want to know about the will. Who he left his money, who he left his house to. Was she included in anything at all? Is the daughter jealous over money? Is she jealous over the relationship that she had with her dad? A thief. Well, look at this, my darlings. Stolen. I think there's this dynamic that is about to come out that we're going to hear about, because I'm going to say I like this defense, and he's not done yet. He's not done yet. I'm asking, what is the verdict going to be? What is the verdict going to be with Miss McGee? Oh my goodness, that rhymed. There's a lot to think about, a lot of choices to make. What is Auntie Bev going to do? Oh, sorry. You know, I don't read reverse. Sometimes that happens. I believe she's going to be released. I believe Penny McGee, if things continue on the way right now. Now, I'm going to just say a little disclaimer. I don't know. We've not heard the rest of the testimony yet. But I think this new witness for the defense is going to really make us all raise our eyebrows about this ME. And I think that there's more coming out about all that. So, you know what, my darlings? We need to watch and see. Final words, final words. Yep, there's the judge. That's Judge Beverly. We've got the courthouse out here. Let's see. Can you give us an idea of what's going to happen with Penny McGee? Misfortune. Oh, boy. A visit. You know, I think this can go either way. I hate to say this. The defense needs to come out very strong on this. And this ME is the one that needs to really be refuted. She's the one who really needs to be cut to the quick, in my opinion. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. Because, there's prison cards here, and her daughter did a lot of damage. I think if the daughter, look at this, journey, visit, oh boy. You know what that means? Going away. I think the desire, there is Mr. Savitz, the desire to have her mother be put away, that's the daughter. That is her desire. The problem is the daughter. They've already cross-examined her. I don't think she's going to go back on the stand. My friends, this one makes me hold my breath, because we know how Auntie Bev is. Now, as of today, I think she was raising her eyebrows. We couldn't see anything, but it carries on, and I wanted to bring your attention to it. There's something wrong in this case. Final words now. Abandoned. This woman has been abandoned by her family, and the universe knows the truth. We're praying that this truth is going to be revealed by this attorney. She's got a good shot at it, my darlings. But I do see that if something happens, there will be an appeal. But I'm nervous. I will tell you, I'm very nervous. It doesn't show me which way this is going to go yet. It just shows me that this daughter, does not want her mother to come home. And that in itself is extremely sad. Thanks so much for watching, my darlings. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like. We're going to see what's going on in this case. I want to hear some more, but there's some energy here that is unsettling. I don't think that Penny is going to go away. However, the cards are eating at me a little bit and saying, you better rethink this. You better rethink this, because there is a good possibility that this is the future of Penny. And then, of course, there's going to be an appeal. We're going to follow this, my friends. Thanks so much for watching. Go over to see Attorney Melanie Little's post. You're going to really enjoy that if you like these cases. And I'll tell you what, we're going to come back for more. Thanks again for being here. And you be well, my darlings. Take care. And I'll tell you what, hold your breath. And especially, don't jump in front of anybody and holler, boo. See you next time.